What's up, guys? Kitdale here, that's right. I'm a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt. I'm a two-time World Pro Champion. I'm also one of the coolest guys you've never met. I want to talk about something today that I've been getting asked a lot about, which is how to deal with injuries. Injuries fucking suck. I don't know if you've noticed that, but they do. When I was younger, I never got injured. And now I get injured. Every time I open my eyes, I'm getting injured. So it's important to learn how to deal with that. Now, I've had a few serious injuries. I've been competing and training in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu for 10 years, but I've only been active for 7.5 of them. Sorry, actually, I think it's 7 of them. The rest of them I've been injured and not been able to train. So this is something that I've had to deal with a lot. So I'm going to tell you how I deal with that, and hopefully it can give you a little bit of help dealing with your own injuries. Injuries are going to happen, especially if you're training on a professional level. They're going to happen a lot, and if you're testing yourself. First off, the biggest injury I did was a knee reconstruction. I snapped my ACL. I completely ruptured my ACL. I partially ruptured the MCL, the LCL, the PCL, and split the meniscus. Okay, so basically all the ligaments that hold the knee together gave way on me. And it didn't happen in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, to be honest. It actually happened in Australian rules football. It happened a few years ago, and I tore my MCL real bad, and I never got it fixed because back then I was an idiot and I thought that the ligaments will repair themselves, and that didn't happen. Then I went back to football in 2014 after having a little bit of a break away from Jiu-Jitsu, and I was pivoting. This is like the 5th game in. I was kicking ass. I got best on ground the game before. I was looking at getting best on ground again. I'm playing with my brother. He runs past. I go to, I don't know what you call it. It's like, we call it selling the dummy, where you go to dodge some player. As I did that, my knee just gave way, and I heard this crunching, snapping sound, and I hit the ground like a bucket of shit. And I remember I was trying to come back and train. I knew something was definitely not right because it was sore for about 2 weeks after that. And then I went and got an MRI. Lachlan Giles, actually, he told me to get an MRI. And then I spoke to the doctor, and he said to me, he's like, "Have you been walking around on this?" I said, "I've been running around on this." And he's like, "Man, your knee is fucked. You need to get an operation done ASAP." So that happened. The operation, I couldn't afford the operation at the time, but I got the operation done after I got a big role in a movie. So that paid for the operation afterwards. It took a year to recover to a good stage. And I mean, even now it's been 2.5 years since I had it, and it's still not right, but I've learned how to deal with that. I was training in Jiu-Jitsu 5.5 months after having the surgery, and it takes 18 months for the ligament to full, I think they call it ligamentation or ligamentization or something, where basically the hamstring, they took a long part of my hamstring, they folded it in 4s, they sewed it up together, they drilled a hole through my femur and my tibia, and they slide it through there to act as the ACL that was completely snapped. And after 18 months, it'll fully turn into a ligament and really harden. But you've got to be very careful in the meantime. So in the meantime, it's really important to strengthen your legs, which I did. So the first thing I'm going to tell you, it's really important. 2 things that I did a lot was, 1, I rested a lot. I slept very well. I made sure I got a lot of sleep, and I still do to this day. Sleep is one of the most important things in my life. And I know that when I'm not getting enough sleep is when I usually get sick or run down or anything like that. So if I'm getting a lot of sleep, everything is really good with me. People are going to be sick around me and sneezing in my face, and I just sit there and that's all you've got, and I'll be fine. But if I've had a few short nights, then I'll definitely get sick just by looking at someone that's sick. So that's the one thing I did get a lot of, which was sleep. And I can't stress how important that is. And I've looked at a lot of really cool podcasts and stuff like that have explained how necessary sleep is. To explain how necessary it is, they did one test. They said there's one test every year that explains it. There's one day of the year that they have a 250% raise in heart attacks, and that's when you lose an hour in daylight savings. And there's one other day that has a 250% drop in heart attacks when you get an hour. So that gives you an idea of how important sleep is, that just by taking 1 hour of sleep from everyone, there's a 250% raise in heart attacks. So make sure you get a lot of sleep. Second, eat very well. eat and drink very well. I don't drink alcohol at all. I stopped doing that. I don't drink caffeine. I do like to eat, and sometimes I'll go out and I'll eat whatever the fuck I want, and depending on where I am. But generally when I'm injured or something like that, I'll eat very well, because it's important for you to get the right nutrients and to help your body, heal yourself as quick as you can. Otherwise you're just making things harder for yourself. So I ate very well, and I know that a lot of people don't eat very well. They get really upset and depressed and start eating fucking ice cream to make themselves happy. Don't do that. It's not going to help you at all. And the other thing was rehab. I did so much rehab. I was doing a minimum of an hour a day in rehab, and usually multiple times a day. Especially when you have something like a knee reconstruction where you can't do anything. Well, you're home anyway, you might as well do as much as you can. So I really try to strengthen all the muscles around it to protect the ligament. And because I did that, so what is going on next door? Is there an exorcism again next door? Kid is going crazy. Samir, if you're watching this, you better fix your boy up. Make sure, you rehab as much as you can. Go to a physio, get the proper advice, and see many physios and doctors. If you're not happy with what they said, go to someone else. Everyone's got different advice on things. So that's what I did. I really made sure. Now, that's just the recovery part. Now, here's the mindset part that's really important, because this is where most people get affected the most, because, I'm depressed because I can't train and I got nothing to do, nothing to live for. Understand this. It's not jiu-jitsu that you are upset about missing out on. There's key elements in the jiu-jitsu that you're really missing. They're the things that you're addicted to. It's not the jiu-jitsu. You have to understand that. And to understand that on a fundamental level, you need to understand yourself. And you need to break down, what is it about Brazilian jiu-jitsu that I really fucking love? And what can I find that I can participate in that's not going to affect my injury, that's going to give me the same sort of satisfaction? Now, to give you an example for me, the good thing about jiu-jitsu is it forces me to be in the moment. Because I'm constantly problem solving in the moment, I'm forced to be in the moment. I'm not sitting there in the future thinking about things I've got later on that day, or in the past about certain things that happen. I'm sit there right in the moment and I'm problem solving, and I really enjoy problem solving, and I love being in the moment, and I'm pretty sure everyone loves being in the moment. It's a very rare thing for a lot of people though. The other thing is the physicalness of it. Getting that workout and releasing those stresses and stuff like that is really good too. But I can get the same thing from I can get the same mental stimulation from painting something or creating anything. I paint these little models. I know I'm a geek, and I'll paint these little models, and it'll take me sometimes it take me 2-3 months to paint a model this big, because I put so much effort into it, but I get a lot of satisfaction out of creating something like that. I draw, I play music, I learn guitar. So a lot of jiu-jitsu, the thing that I really enjoy about jiu-jitsu is learning things. So if you can find other things that you can learn, or you can find a creative outlet, or a problem-solving thing, whether it's a puzzle or something, find things like that to keep you company while you're not able to train. Because it's really important for you to stimulate your mind. And I'm sure that if you looked hard enough in what you enjoy in jiu-jitsu, you would find that in a lot of other areas. Unless you are just enjoying hugging men. And I'm sure you could probably do that anyway, even if you have to roll up. There's always someone that likes a hug. Michael Shaw, not mentioning any names. So that's what I would do. Understand that whatever it is in jiu-jitsu, the elements of jiu-jitsu, you can find them elsewhere. Okay? So look for that. Try and figure out identify what it is that you want, and then find it in other things. And eat well, sleep well, and do the appropriate rehab. I swear to God, there's no one I've ever spoken to that does, that it honestly does as much rehab as they could have done. And even guys that are really good, you ask them, and they're like, probably could have done more. Do as much as you can. It'll help you get back on the mats, and it'll prevent you from doing any more injuries, creating any more injuries. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this. Please let me know what you think in the comments. Please tell me what injuries you've had and how you've overcome them, or whether you think that I'm just full of shit. Tell me, whatever it is. I'll reply to all of them. If you did like this, please like and comment and share. It really helps a lot. And if you press the dislike button, I'm going to punch you right in the nuts. KitDaleTraining.com for all my videos. If you like this kind of stuff, and if this resonates with you, go to KitDaleTraining.com. You can find the Art of Learning Jiu-Jitsu Volume 1 and 2. We've just sold over 10,000 this weekend. Not 10,000 alone this weekend. We've sold the 10,000th copy this weekend. And I've got all of the feedback on the website. We've had some great reviews. and it really explains how I got my black belt in 4 years and how you can do the same thing and replicate those results by changing the way you look and train jiu-jitsu. Anyways, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, or listening if you're on the podcast, and say hi to your mum for me.